Okay, so we continue. Then I also spoke about loops. I made mention that some of the loops are essential and it is part of a process. But there are certain loops that are not part of a process. They happen as a result of issues, problems, errors, challenges. Then you have such loops. I'll give an example that, let's say ordering food online, it's a process. Ordering food online, so the time you receive the food, you go through a lot of stages, a lot of activities before you finally receive the food. Now, I also made mention that sometimes you may order the food, and the ordering that you make, the same food will not be delivered to you. And if it is not the same food that is delivered to you, meaning that you will send it back, and this is a loop, and this loop is not necessary, meaning that they could have they could have handled quality assurance aspect where the food would have been checked properly before it's delivered. If you look at the procurement processes, you can have a loop. You can have a loop, and sometimes the loop can even raise extra costs. Somebody has actually gone for maybe items and all that. Eventually, or he ordered for an items. Of course, he has gone through all the procurement and he has ordered for certain items or materials. The materials or items is delivered, but eventually you realize that they do not meet the requirement. This same item has to be taken back. And taking back will attract cost. So sometimes when you do the business process modeling and look at the modeling critically, you're able to analyze situation and eliminate this kind of loops, delays, and bottlenecks that happens within the process. And I can tell you that many organizations, of course, if you take a business as a whole, a business is made up of a number of processes. And these processes have to be optimized in order to achieve excellence. Because some of the processes may attract a lot of cost, example that I gave in respect of the loops. So when you model, you're able to see or picture exactly how your processes are, and which aspect is bringing out some sort of delays and bottlenecks, and how do you handle those things? And the business process modeling is a way to handle that. Then I took you to a business process modeling notation. I told you that we are going to use, these are different tools. There's one we call Microsoft, I think Visio, and several others. So I'm using Innovator for Business Analyst. But let me tell you, all these tools uses BPMN notation, business process modeling notation, the same notations. So what it means is that if you understand Innovator for Business Analyst, you can apply the same knowledge in all the other tools. Other Bizagi, Aris, or LucidChat and all that. Some of them are not free, some are free to use. So just try to understand the whole concept of the modeling. Once you do, I'm sure that you'll be fine and you can do a lot of things with it. And these are, some of the notations I made mention of. I said we group the notations in, I'm already recording, so there's no need asking for recording again. So we group the notations in events, activities, and gateways. And I remember the events, I use circle to represent many of the events. There are a number of them: start, end, intermediate events, message events, and so on and so forth. Activities are where we have the rectangular shapes. We call it task. For instance, this one is a task. Then I spoke about the gateways, and gateways also encompasses the decision points. So we use this symbol, generally this symbol for the gateways. Otherwise, we have other gateways, different or specified gateways. When it is multiplication, it's called exclusive gateway. When it is plus, it's called para gateway. When it is wonderfully, drawn in a way, you have some polygon in it, some circle and all that, it becomes event-based gateway. An event-based gateway is based on the fact that an event has occurred before or after. All this, we did them last week. Now, in the collapse as well, these are the gateways. Okay, so let us quickly model the process. Yes, I know the commonness is job application, which happens in every organization. So we are going to model a process. And then in modeling the process, it will be expected that you'll be able to also do the IA for me. And I can assure you that if you do the IA and you're able to master that, it will help you a lot. So I'm going to share my screen. I gave the Innovator to the class rep to share the links for you to download and also install. So now I have launched my Innovator. And if you are going to follow the whole process, please kindly also launch your Innovator. Once you launch the Innovator, yes, we can all do together. Gift, your hand is up.
Sir, please, I wasn't able to download the Innovator. It was blocked by my company's IT.
It was blocked by?
It was blocked by my IT department.
Yeah, but that, I don't think that one is an excuse because you have your own machine and you work in the company. If you are using the company network, maybe the company network is not allowing, for security reasons, they are not allowing for you to install any other application or maybe application with certain, features. So you have your own laptop. You could have just downloaded it in the house. You don't have to do with the with the company's network. So, and because this one is academic,
okay. We
are learning, yes.
Is the I see Innovator Personal Edition, would that suffice?
Personal edition. I don't, because if you are now going to download, then we cannot wait for you, please. So that's the good reason why we are recording this. So after recording, you can go and practice. But frankly speaking, Innovator takes time, even to configure. And those of you who have done it, you know how it took, the time it took you to even register and install and launch and all that. So we can't wait. We have limited time. So please kindly follow the link I sent you, and then and the recordings, I'll make it available to you. And I even have a recording also on. I think I even already have a recording from last year also, and it's maybe I could check. It's on YouTube. So YouTube. Okay, but let's continue later. I will show you some link which I have the recording also on YouTube already. I've done this the previous lecture and then it's on YouTube. All right, those of you downloaded, and then since we don't have time, we need to continue. Now, if you launch or if you open it, this is the first page that will come. If you are actually with me, how many of you are actually going to follow what I'm going to do for today? Let me know.
I'm following.
Very good. So are you able to see the same screen that I have opened?
No, sir.
No, sir.
What screen do you see? Okay, like one of you, I'm going to give you the chance for one of you to share your screen so that we can. Oh, it has taken me. So, can you share your screen? Anyone can share. And let me see what the screen that you have.
Okay, so.
Oh, you're already there. That's what the enemy can cry.
Oh, okay. I wanted to be sure. I wanted to be sure.
Oh, you are there. Don't worry. So we are here to get to this side. So for you, you are already here. Don't worry. So you can unshare yours. Let me see if anyone with a different screen other than this one.
Yes.
Okay, so unshare, please kindly take down yours and then the person will share his. Yes.
Sir, please, I cannot share my screen because I'm using the tablet for lectures and then I'm using a Dell for the demonstration.
So if you cannot show it, it will be a bit problematic for me to know.
So this is my screen.
Okay, let me see. I can't see. Okay, I think it's now showing.
No login.
Hello, why is yours?
So he has not logged in.
Say it again.
The person has not logged in.
Yes, you didn't register or probably created an account. So if you haven't done that, I think you cannot. I can see some login there. You cannot have the screens that we are going to work with. In fact, Innovator, the company expect that they want to know who is using it. So they will ask you to register. Anyone with a different screen. But also kindly note that, if I want to do a lot of back and forth, we may not go anywhere. So sometimes I may ignore certain things because yes, you're also with me. So yes, go to new. Let me see. Click on new. Okay, click on model. Click on it. You haven't, I think, have you clicked on that? Okay. Your machine slow, Papa. Like I said, we are recording. So if you have any issues, later you can just refer to your recordings and them. Your machine is very slow. In fact, we cannot wait for this one to open. I see that. Have you clicked on the model file? Okay, you may have to take it down and let you see your machine. Okay, good. Now go to click on, if you are someone with this same screen, click on click on business analyst standard English. The second one, yes.
So create.
Yes, create it.
Okay. All right.
So it takes you to that page.
Okay.
So you can take it down so that I share mine that will start.
Okay.
Good. So please, can you take it down now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Some of you are already ahead of us. Those who are not ahead of us, once you do that with this screen, for instance, these are past projects that I have done with this model. So it gives you the chance to showcase what you have done previously. So these are projects I've done previously. So normally when you launch it first, these will come. But we are not actually going to use the past projects. Some of you may not see this because you haven't done a project yet. Now, to move on, to start, I go to new. If you are there, you go to new. If you are not there, and you are already on the first page, this page, don't worry, we'll get here. All right. So I believe that some of you have this screen, a screen like this. And then, now we are going to create a new project. If you have a screen like this, it gives you some shortcut and say that create a new diagram, open a new diagram and all that, but we are not going to use that. Now, let me give you the overview of this tool. I told you that this tool is a business process, what do you call it? It's a business process modeling software called Innovator for Business Analysts. Now, once you launch it on this page, you have four different ribbons. The start ribbon, the review ribbon, the view ribbon, and the extras. Under each ribbon, the start ribbon is like what we call home. When you're using Microsoft Word, it has the basic functionalities and basic commands that we are actually going to use. So for instance, there's a command called new diagram. If you want to create a new project, you use this one to create a new project. Then you can use this one, new sub package. Sometimes you may want to create packages in folders. You use this as well. When I go to review, there are other functionalities. Some of them are not active because we haven't created a new project yet. Once we create a new project, they will also be active and you have more, the number of ribbons will also increase. Take note. Here is more or less for formatting, editing. You want to color your process model and all that. You use the view. And extras is where you want to import something in or you want to export something. But there are other ribbons that will come. But it depends if you have created a new project. Now, On this side, we have what we call model structure. The model structure is about the metadata, or let's say information about the whole model that you are going to create, where it will be, where you want to save it, and all that. It will be populated here in the model structure. Then one of the most important aspects of this whole project is the properties. Properties, every notation, you remember the notation, for instance, if I picked start event has its own properties. The property that you want, you said envelope, you want to do this, you want to change, you want to rename it. They're all properties that you can manipulate, but based on the notation that you have taken. Don't worry, as you move on, you understand what I'm talking about. And then the details talks about, it gives you step-by-step activities, what you are doing, what you actually, if you have taken a notation there, it will give you step-by-step processes and what you're actually doing with the modeling. Now, we are going to create a new project. Two ways, either you click on this one, or we go to start. Let me make this one start. Yes, start now. Okay. So either you use this create new project, or you go to new diagram. And I want us to use start, by default, you'll be at start. So you go to new diagram, open the new diagram. When you open the new diagram, you will see different options. Whiteboard diagram is a different, package. You have the structure diagram. You have the BPMN diagram. And obviously, we are doing BPMN, business process modeling notation. You have business resource diagram. So what it means is that this particular software can be used for a variety of projects. Even if you want to design or develop an organizational chart, you can use this software to do or to design your own organizational chart. But right now, we are actually going to do a business process modeling notation. So in this case, you click on BPMN notation. Once you click on it, this is the page that will come. The first person who showed the screen, he was already here. So now we have actually clicked on the BPMN, and this is what we have. Okay. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, we can save this where, by default, it gives us BPMN diagram by default, but we can save it. So you go to model, click on save as. Click on save as. Then let's give it a name. You can call it my model. My model. So here you go to find, just like Microsoft Word, you can call this my model. My model. Oh, why? Okay. So once you call it my model, of course, you know how to save things from Microsoft Word. So this one should not be difficult. I may want to save it on a desktop. You may want to save it anywhere. So I call this one my model, then I click on save. So you will see that this will change and then give us a name, my model. So our project, I call this project my model. And the project name will be shown here. My model. You remember I told you that whatever you do it will be shown here. We did the editing status in progress. So the first stage we are on is here. Now, this particular section is the working area. This is where we are going to put the model. We are going to model our process. Okay. And then this is the property window. Because we haven't taken any notation, there's nothing here in the property. Once we take notation, there will be something there. Now, these are the notations. The notations are here. Another thing is that now, if I want to work here, you will realize that the space may be small. If the space is small, we can make room for a bigger space and then work there. So there are ways in doing that. First of all, we can use this. You see, when you see this symbol, I hope you can see this symbol, call it auto hide. Auto hide. Then the same symbol is also here, auto hide. If I click on auto hide, meaning that the model content will be hidden, it will be hidden here. Whenever I go off, it goes there. So whenever I want to use this, when I click on this, it will come. That's auto hide, meaning that I have all this space to myself. I can do the same for this, but I don't want us to do auto hide the properties because we are going to be using the properties a lot. So we can leave the properties for now. Otherwise, we can also auto hide it. Maybe for now, we can auto hide. Later on, we bring it back. So let's auto hide it for now. All right. But when you come here, you see properties here. Once I click on this, properties will show and all that. Okay. Now, when I click inside the working area, I get my screen here. Now, any question before I continue? Have you noticed that the ribbon, which was 4, start, review, views, extras, have now been increased to design and then pay layout because we have created a new project. Okay, now we start. To do any model, you need to define whether you want to do cross-functional or your process is cross-functional or it's functional. So we are going to do cross-functional model, which of course, obviously will encompass the functional model. Now, to do that, we need to create the swim lanes or the lanes or the pool. If you remember, the pool. So now, these are the pools. You have what we call collaboration, or in other words, horizontal model. Collaboration, what it means is that it creates a new collaboration with 2 initial participants. So it gives you room to create 2 participants, meaning that 2 different model, 2 different lanes. So the participant 1 can be finance department, participant 2 can be marketing department. But this one gives you room to do only 2. But later on, if you have 3, you can use the what we call a horizontal model to add the 3rd one. But now let's use this one. So to create the lane, all you need to do is that you click on this and drag it. You drag it and drop it here. I clicked on it, I drag it and drop it here. So you have the lanes, lane 1, lane 2. Process 1 is going to go here, process 2 is going to go here. And then we see if there is cross between the 2. Let me know if you have been able to also put this one here. It's very important.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you remember I told you about properties. If I click on this participant, it will give me room in the properties to edit or to do things with it, manipulate it. If I click on property 2, the same thing. If I click on collaboration, it will only give me properties about collaboration. Now, before we go to the properties, let's do this. You see this one? You see that there's a hand around it, hovering around it. I can hold it. Once you click on it this way, you can drag it and then dock it around anywhere at all you want to move it. What it means is that, let me take this one to the extreme end here. Yes, somebody was talking. Okay. Now, this collaboration, I click on collaboration, but not the participant. Note that there are 3 different containers. Participant container 2, and then collaboration container. Now I click on collaboration container. Once you click on it, it gives you about 9, if I may put it. Yeah, 3, 8. These are edges. Here. They all have role to play. But here, this edge, it gives you room to be able to hold it and open it if you want to. So when I click on this, I can click, you click, hold your mouse and drag it open like this. I have only done it for the collaboration. I'm now going to do it for the participant. So I can hold this one and also open it to the extreme end. This one and open it to the extreme end. So you just use the edges and then drag it. So you can still open it, you know, you can open it and then open this one as well. And I also open this one as well. We are giving room for the modeling. We are creating more room for the modeling. You can do that and make sure that they are well aligned. So the same way, you can use this one and then move it, dock it around. Another thing I want you to know is that we can also zoom out and zoom in. If you look at this one, if I start to do, you see that the texts are too big. And then even though I have made room for it, you know, it is not too good. You can still come here, use this symbol, look at this side, zoom. So here, you can reduce it, reduce it. You see, I've reduced this, I've reduced it this way, giving me more room to expand. So I can still come here, open this up, come here, open this up, hold this one, hold this one. So I'll hold this one here from the edge, open it up, hold this one from the edge, open this up. See? I can also open it to this end. You know, if I want to go upward, I just open it like this. You can also open it downward like this. You know, you can also open it like this. You know, this manipulation, just play around it. You know, now I have more room. I did a zoom in. The size of the text reduces here. I reduce the size of the text here. Then I've given more room for the modeling. So now we can now put our model here. Please play around this, and then I'm giving you just 2 minutes to play around it, and then we start with the model itself. All right, so 2 minutes is up, and I'm assuming that you all have this structure. So please, let's continue. So here, participant 1 is a swim lane or a pool. Participant 2 is a swim lane or a pool. I told you that once we click on it, the property will come. Now let me click on collaboration. Once I click on collaboration, and let's go to properties. You open property, you see that the name collaboration is here. Have you seen it? Meaning that I can change the name from the collaboration. I can change the name and call it, let's say, job application. Then you press enter. You will realize that here, the job application will also change. Another way to do this is that instead of going to the properties, now I'll click on participant 1. If I go to properties, I have participant 1 here, I can change the name. But I don't want to change it from here, just as I did for the other one. I want to change from here. Here, you can also come here and click it inside. Just click inside here. Participant 1 here. You can delete what is there and then type in what you want. Maybe you put applicant. Then when I go here, the same way here, I just put recruiter. Recruiter. So the person recruiting. Now, if I click on this and I go to the properties, you see that the name recruiter is also changed here. So you can change it from here or you can do it also from the properties. Take note. Please, can we move on? I hope you are clear with me.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I like this class because you guys are very fast. Good. Good, good, good. Now, the next step is that you remember I said from last week that please, just a minute. Oh. All right, so let's continue. So now, remember I said every process you start, somebody must trigger the process. So now we are going to model job application, applicants, and then the recruiter. The recruiter, we can put a name there, can be bank, can be ADB, whatever, the job applicant. Somebody must trigger the process. So this time, the recruiter has actually advertised for the job, and then you have someone, applicant, triggering a process from a side. So now to trigger a process, you need to start. So we use start event. So when you check here, this is where the notations are. And you can see that this one is start. This is an event, but it's start event. So you just hold this one and come and drop it here. So we are starting. So you can give it a name, start. Just start. You can call it start. When I dropped it, automatically it gives me a name. It gives me opportunity to name it or give it a name. So I just put start here. When I click on this notation and I go to properties, it will be here. Sorry. This one. I should be able to see the start here. I think it's smaller for you. Given that I'm the one teaching, I need to make it a bit so that you can see it well. For you, it's fine to keep it at where you are, but I'm the one I'm teaching, so I need to make it a bit bigger for you to see it well. Okay, so maybe I think this is fine. I hope you can see it. Okay, now we have started. Now, if the customer or the recruiter or the applicant trigger a process, the job has been advertised, I have seen it. Now I'm interested. The first thing to do is to now send your application. And to send the application, what do you do? First of all, you need to create the application, because if it is a letter, for instance, application letter, let's assume that it's even a manual, whatever. But even if it is digital, if it's already digitalized, you need to probably create your application, cover letter. So now, you remember I spoke about the flows. This one is called sequence flow. Sequence flow is just within the same lane. The message flow moves from one lane to the other. And this one is data. And this is the message flow, and this is the data, association. You want to connect it to a database. So now most of the flows that we'll be using is this sequence flow. So we need to have create another. So the next is for you to create the application. So sometimes they will require that you even create an account so that you can submit the application. So you click on, just click, hold the sequence flow. I clicked on it and I hold it this way. Then you leave. Once you leave it, the next step is a task. It's a task. The task is that you are creating application. The task is that you are creating or create application. So you create application. So once you open it and drop it, it gives you the chance to type in, give it a name. So we have created application.
Activity.
Yes. Any question? Yes.
I'm asking if it's the same as the activity.
Yeah, you remember I classified all the notations under 3: events, activity, and then gateway. Under the event, you have the start, the end, the intermediate, and all that. And under what we call the activity, you have what we call task. You have collapse process and all that.
Okay.
So the major one is task. So this task, the task is like an activity because we are doing an activity there. We are creating an application, so that's an activity. So after you create the application, what next? I think the next step to do is now you submit it. You have created, you have entered all your details. The next thing is to submit. So meaning that submit is also another form of task or activity. So you click on the sequence flow again, leave it, go and pick task, and then give it a name, submit application. If you understand this very well and do the IA very well, I'm telling you, you can do anything with this one. Another thing is that here, you can dock it around however you want it. I can decide that, okay, let my start be here at the top here. You can dock it. Let my create be here. You just click, hold it, and drag it around. And let my submit be here. So you can move it around however you want it. You can even reshape. If you want to reshape this one smaller, you can reshape it using the arrows and the edges and all that. Now, when you submit the application, let me ask you this question. Where does it go? It goes to the recruiter, right?
Yes.
So, very good. So now, as it is now, it is only the applicant who has initiated the process, but he has not sent anything to the recruiter for the recruiter to start any process. So now that he has initiated and is submitting, then we need to now get a recruiter on board. So he submitted to the recruiter. So the recruiter here will now receive the application. So instead of using the empty events, we use this one, message event. This one is message. So let's drop message here. Meaning that he's receiving an application. And this one here, you can give this one receives. This one, call it receives. Application. You can say use abbreviations most of the times and some short, to explain things. So now we've been able to create whatever. So now this application, he has to submit. You remember last week I told you that this flow, this one, if I take the sequence flow to this one, it will not work. You go from one lane to another lane, we don't use sequence flow. We use message flow. If I use the data association also, it will not work. So we use the message flow. Once I use the message flow to this, but make sure that if I leave it this way, it will not work. You see that where it is, it's not work. It will not work. It will bring this one, which is a problem. So if you are leaving it, make sure that it touches the message event. You see that there's some 4 that kind of edges around the event, the message event, meaning that it has actually touched it. If it doesn't touch, it will be like that 4 dotted arrow will not be there, and it will give you a problem. Make sure that you have the touch, then you leave it, then the connection will take place, meaning that we have submitted our application to the recruiter. So the recruiter now has received the application. Okay, can someone tell what to do next?
The recruiter review the application.
Yes, the recruiter will review that. Sorry, my machine was low battery. Let me quickly put it on charger. Okay. So the recruiter will review the application. So that's the process. So you see, every stage there is an activity and there's flow of information, flow of resources, flow of data. So right now the application was contain information. Sorry, information, it can also be data depending on who is sending. Okay, and then who is receiving, or depending on the sender and the receiver. Okay. So now what is my marker? Okay. So now let's review the application. So to review the application, meaning that reviewing application is an activity. In other words, we can say that it's a task, it's an activity. So we take the sequence flow here, we move it a little bit, then you go and take a task. Then you say review application. Review application. Of course, this one we can even make it. Review application. Okay. Now, after reviewing the application, what next?
Confirm.
Are you sure you confirm? When you review, what do you do?
You can shortlist.
Yeah, you do
Shortlist.
shortlisting.
Mm.
But do you know that at the
Shortlist.
shortlisting stage, there is a decision point. You agree with me? Take note
Yes,
of
sir.
the logic. So we have done the review. After doing the review, now there's a decision point. Because why did you even do the review? You did a review because you want to shortlist. And in shortlisting require a decision because you have done the review and you have actually, maybe you were checking their certificates. So you have been able to segregate or maybe segment based on what they have actually submitted, meaning that there's a decision point here. So meaning that some people are going to be shortlisted and some people are going to be dropped. True or false?
True, sir.
There's a decision point. So look at what I'm going to do. And this kind of decision point is either yes or no. So meaning that we are using what we call exclusive gateway. Remember, gateways are for decision points. So this is exclusive gateway. The exclusive gateway comes with the one with the plus. So there are two ways of doing it. I can take the exclusive gateway and come and drop it here. And then connect this one to it. If you are connecting, make sure that it touches it. That's one way of doing it. And I'll show you another way. Another way is that instead of doing this way, you will just take the sequence flow like they just as we did for the task. Move it forward. Then look for gateway. But here the gateway, exclusive gateway is here. Click on it. That's another way. Then here is asking for an inscription. Because it's a decision point, we can ask a question like rejected. You know, it's a question. We put a question mark because it's a decision point. The question is rejected, meaning that after the review, are we rejecting the application or we are accepting? So you can use rejected or you can use accepted. If you use rejection or accepted, it depends on how, it depends. Your movement will depend whether you are using rejected or accepted. Somebody can put accepted, another person can put rejected. So let's put accepted here and see what next. So now we have a decision point. The decision point gives us the room to be able to have two different movements. The question, we are asking the question. rejected is a decision point. So rejected, has an application been rejected? If yes, what do we do? The application is dropped out. If yes, then the application continues. The process continues. So now you go to the gateway here, exclusive gateway, take the sequence flow, move it upward. Now select events. And then you say that rejected. Here, let's give this one a name, rejected. Meaning that we are putting all those applications that have been rejected to this here. So in this case, the question rejected, if it is yes, it will come here. If it is no, the process will continue. So where do we indicate yes and the no? So now we say that if it is rejected, we put it here. If it is accepted, what do you think will be the next step? Is it not to schedule an interview? So all those that application has been shortlisted, we are going to schedule an interview. So you take this one to this and create a task and call this one schedule interview. However, we need to take care of the yes and the no. So if I come here, the question asked, we are asking a question rejected. Yes. So we need to put the yes here. And to put the yes, click on this arrow mapping to the rejected. When you click on this arrow, go to properties. Now look for condition here, condition. You go to properties, look for condition and type yes. Inside the condition here, yes, and press enter. Meaning that those that are rejected, yes, are put into this basket or they are tossed. And those that are not rejected, meaning that we are using the word no. No, you click on this arrow, you go back to property the same way we did to this one. Sorry, I need to. Wait. Okay, wait, I think my reason is a bit stuck. Okay, yes, I've been able to take it out. So now, when I click on this same arrow mapping to this interview, so this time, no, the question is rejected. Yes, you put it up, you toss it. No, then you click on properties. So you come to the condition and type no. So what we are doing means that we are handling several applications. So those that are rejected are put here, and those that are not rejected, we schedule interview for them. Okay. Now, do you know that even with the interview, when you schedule the interview, you must send a letter. You must notify the applicant that you've been shortlisted for an interview. So how do we also create that? To do that, we need to send a message to the applicant. You see, that's the applicant sent us a message. We need to send a message to the applicant. And then we are sending a message to 2 applicants. Yes, there's a hand up. Who? Mame Efua Kwanza. Mame.
It's a long time, but I wanted to.
Okay, it's a long time. Okay. So you are not asking question. Okay, Prince. Prince.
Yes, sir. I also wanted to ask, at the rejection stage,
Yes.
what if the rejected people also, there's an activity there before, because sometimes most firms communicate to the rejected ones that due to, let me say, A, B, or C, you are rejected.
Don't worry, we are going
to
to do it. We are going to do it.
Okay.
We are going to do it. Yeah, it's the next step that we are going to do. Okay.
Okay.
So now, so now here, you know that we created a gateway here for the yes or no. Now the applicant side, we must also create a gateway. One of the gateway is going to receive the rejection. Another gateway receives invitation to attend an interview. So we need a gateway to do that. So now we have to create a gateway here. Of course, we create this time we are creating event-based gateway because an event is coming. We are receiving a letter. No, this is not event-based. What we have done is inclusive, not event-based. But another way, let me give you another way of also going about this. Instead of creating a, what do you call it, specified gateway, we can just go for unspecified gateway like this. And later on, we change it. So here, this gateway, we ask a question. And the question we are going to ask is that we can say that call for an interview, or we can say that feedback, is feedback good? You know, it should be a question. Gateways are always asking questions. So we can use a question like call for interview. It should be brief as possible. Then we bring a question mark. So are you being called to come for an interview? Or we can even use the word shortlisted for interview. So we can even use that, shortlisted for interview. So it depends on what you do. That one is subjective. The kind of language you want to use. The only thing is that you must understand what you're actually doing. So we are using the word call for interview. Here, this call for interview, we can take it from here. If we don't want it to be down here, we can take it up here. You just click and hold it and drag it there. Now, so you are either receiving a letter of rejection or you are receiving a letter to attend an interview. So now the question is call for an interview, yes or no. If it is yes, we can create some kind of event here with a message, let's say a message event. There's no message event here. So another way is that I can close this one and then instead go and bring message event from here. Just bring it from here and come and drop it here. You know, then we say that, let me use the word letter, just letter. Make it simple, meaning that here we'll map to those who are going to attend the interview. And this one, we can also bring this one down here. We pick the sequence flow here and bring it down here and say that these are, no, we can put activity. Let's put activity. Or no, let's put rejected. So rejected. Just as you pointed out, we need to send a letter to this person. So normally you can use this message flow and link it to this one from here to here and leave it. And then here in between here, you can put a message even inside if you want to indicate that you are sending a letter to the person rejecting that. So you see that all these places about rejection. So all those that have been rejected are put here. So the person receives the rejection letter. You can do a lot of play around it. Just understand the whole underlying principle. Then here, schedule an interview. We use the message flow and send our letter to this one. So you connect it, and the letter has been sent to those. But note that here, we ask a question, call for an interview with a question mark. So no. So you click to this side, you click this side, you go to properties, go to condition, and put no there. And then we go to this side, here it's for yes. So you click on this arrow, go to properties, go to condition. Why is it taking the old one? Here, go to properties, go to condition, and put yes. So the question is, call for an interview. Call for an interview, yes or no. Let me take this one here, letter here. I can even put the letter here. So call for an interview here, no, and yes. Where is the yes? The yes did not come. Where is it? Let me bring it there. Let me check it. No, the yes did not come. So let me click outside, come back here, go to properties, and then write yes here. Then press enter. So you see the yes is here. And anytime at all you want to drag something like this, make sure that it turns to 4-pronged arrows. Then you can now move it anyhow. So yes, if it is yes, you have received a letter to attend an interview, or even yes, a letter to indicate that you've been shortlisted. If it is no, then your application is rejected. There are several ways of handling this part. Okay.
Sir, please, they're rejected.
Hello. Say it again.
Please, they're rejected after the call for interview. Which of the events is that?
Yes, this one. I told you that it is
the event.
Which one? You mean the event? Which one?
They're rejected.
This one, yes.
Yeah, it is called intermediate event. Intermediate event. So this event is receiving, its intermediary is receiving the rejection letter. Obviously, it goes to the applicant. Yes, there's Hannah. Who is he?
Can't find it.
Okay, okay.
So
all right.
the intermediate icon,
I can't find
also can't find it.
There's what?
The intermediate
icon.
No, you don't need to go for it. Automatically, it will come. And when I was doing it, I did not go for it from anywhere. What I did was that I connected this one to the event here. Once you connect it and leave it, it will change to intermediate. You know, you don't decide, you don't tell the start, the end, and the intermediate. The position will determine whether it is start, end, or intermediate. So you don't determine that. You only have to just put an event there. But here, what I did was that all I did was to just take a message flow and connect it to the event here, and automatically this changed to intermediate event. Yes.
I think what they are trying to ask is which one did you drag to get that event?
I said I dragged from here, message flow from here to this. I think I've explained that already. Let me do that.
Yes, sir.
So the other challenge I'm also having is
Yes.
the instructions is in Dutch.
The what?
The instructions on my computer.
I don't get it. Instructions as in what? As in what?
As in when you even click for the event, the gateway and others to come, it's not in English.
That means you did not select. I don't know whether you followed. You did not use the English version.
Yes, so I think it normally happens during the installation. I also face similar challenge, but I reset it again.
Yes. And you remember one of you, I think that you show your screen, and I told you that you should pick the standard with English.
Yes,
so
sir.
as it is now, you do not use the English version. That is why you are having that challenge.
Okay, sir.
So you may have to, later look at this and then see if you can reset, or the person who managed to reset could be of help, but not now. We are recording, so later you can go through it. Okay, so we are here. Now, can we move? Can I continue, please?
Yes, sir. Yes,
now,
sir.
The applicant has actually received the letter to attend an interview. What do you think will be the next step? And you remember I told you that this gateway is unspecified. We haven't specified whether it's an event-based, it's para or exclusive event or inclusive. But in actual sense, it's an event-based gateway. An event-based gateway is based on the fact that there's an event ahead or event before. But you realize that here he received a rejection letter, and here there is also another letter inviting the person. So in this case, this particular gateway becomes what we call event-based gateway. And how do you set it? To change this one to event-based gateway, what you need to do is that just click on it. Click on it. Go to properties. I didn't click on it well. I don't know why mine is stuck. So we click on it. Then we go to properties. Then you look for what we call gateway type. Gateway type. There's one we call unspecified. So now we are using event-based, where it's event-based gateway. Event-based gateway. You know, and it can be event-based, what do you call it? Exclusive. Event-based exclusive. I think this one should be event-based exclusive because it's exclusive because we have the yes or no. So this event-based, this is how I change the event-based. Now, the recruiter must now set in the letter of obvious in the letter, there is dates and time, the date for the interview. You know, there's a date for the interview, it's a very important event. Even though it is written in the letter, sometimes you are modeling the process, you can ignore it. But it's an important part of the letter. So normally what we do is that we create something like another event here. And then introduce the timer. But here you see there's no timer here. This is just a shortcut. So there's no timer here. So we can just go for a timer, this timer here. And then put the timer here. We align the timer to this side. And call this one, give it a name, date. You have to click inside very well. Another thing is, let me click on it. Let me click on it. Go to property. No, it's not picking. So I think the best is to edit from here. So you call this one dates. Oh, sorry, I'm having challenges with my laptop right now. So, but the fact is that this one. Oh, why is the keyboard not coming? Sorry, I'm trying to, I know you have already done it already. I'm trying to change this one and make it good. My keyboard is not responding, I don't know. Yes, okay. Let me put it here. So I just the date for the interview. So I put a date for the interview here. This is the letter. The letter comes with the dates. I said it's a very important. You see, the reason why I did this is because I couldn't join it well. So you connect it this way. So now it has been joined. So now, even though you receive the letter comes with the date. Some people would just put the date here. They will, instead of that, what they would do is that, let me show you another way of handling this. You can delete this one off. I just delete this one. Now, instead, I bring the date here. Then I connect rather from here to this date. So that meaning that the letter, it comes to the date. So that's another way of doing it. So the letter comes to the date. Now, the next step will be to schedule the interview. So this is the day of the interview. And the interview date is a task. So we can call this one, because you can put it upward. You know, you can even put it to the same line. You can just dock it around anyhow you want it to be. So I call this one interview. I call this one interview. So that's the day of the interview. Sorry, please, my keyboard is a bit worried, but just, I don't know why it's not coming, but you just put interview here. So this interview, maybe to come later. So that's the day of interview. So now, we need to create another activity or event for here, a task for here, and call this one attend interview. Today is the time you will dress very well, nicely, to attend the interview. So attend the interview. So obviously we connect this one to the day of the interview. We attend an interview. I can put this one here. Let me just bring it.
Can you please do the connection again? The attend interview and interview.
Yeah, all I did was to, okay, let me delete this. Wait a minute, I need to delete, where is my delete key? Okay, if you want to delete, if you want to delete anything, just click on it, right click on it, go to delete from model. This will come, select it. It may be a couple of them, but this is only one. Then you come here, delete from model, click on it, it will go. That's how you delete any of them. But this is what I did. You know, whenever you click on the activity like this, you have these 3 flows.
Yes, sir.
I told you that if I use the sequence flow, it will not work. So we have to use the message flow because we are crossing one lane to another lane.
Okay.
So this is how I did it. Yes. Now you attend the interview. Now, after attending the interview, what next? The recruiter will review the feedback. Is that not it? Review the feedback. So obviously we are going to have another activity here or task and call it review feedback. Review feedback. Now we have to review the feedback. You see, the reason why I try to push some of them down is that sometimes you may see that the space that left, your model may not go in. So you can, you can be docking it around. When I take it up, it reduces and then make sure that the space is enough for you to work. So when I take this one here, something like this, I mean, you can dock it around anyhow at all you want so that you can create more space for your modeling. You may have a 3rd lane. Maybe from here, it has to go to another lane. Maybe probably to next time, unfortunately we are doing this, but if you understand it very well, I'll show you how to add a 3rd one. You can even, the recruiter, instead of the recruiter, you can put human resource and even finance or something so that you can even be checking, things like that. Now we have review feedback. After feedback has been reviewed, you agree with me that the next step is a decision point. But let me give you, please, if you are following me, and then at some point, maybe probably you're a bit confused, let me give you 2 minutes, readjust yourself before I continue. So just maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, please, I have a question.
I gave you 3 minutes to readjust yourself. After that, you can ask your question. All right, so let's now ask your question, please. Ask your question.
So please, I wanted to find out if what happens when the line is not straight.
Yes, I'll show you when the line is not straight. For instance, you mean like this?
No, mine is some of them instead of like from the letter to the date. I didn't get it straight. I didn't get a straight line from the letter to the date. No, not
So
this
you
one. The
got
other one.
you from the letter to the, for instance, this one you got to something like this.
It's not. It's broken. It's broken.
It's crooked. You want to
It's
show
not.
us?
I can't show you because it's on a different machine. Sorry.
What's the mean? Yeah. Is it crooked or? But you are able to connect it.
I can connect it all right. Just that it's not in a straight line. It's like a stair. It's done like a maybe.
Oh, okay. But
So
yeah,
I
I
don't
get
know
it.
how to make it straight.
Let me see if I can create that scenario. You see, you can just, it's the matter of docking it out. Maybe probably the arrangement is
Maybe
not
I linked it.
yes. So you can just be moving it, you just hold it and move it, and then straight, I mean, it will straighten by itself. Let me show you. See this one, for instance, even though this one is not crooked. But one way, this one, you can also do this way. Let me show you something. You click on any part of the line here, and then hold it like this. You know, see what I've done? I can also come and hold this part, click on it, hold it, and maybe something like this. You know.
So it's looking like this for some of them. Instead of it coming straight, it's like.
Don't worry, it shall be well. You will not say amen. It's normal. Of course, this is your first time, so you know what I'm doing. Some of you can see what I'm trying to straighten. Sometimes you want to make your model look very nice. You know, you can do some of these things. Now, the next step is that let's review the application. Remember, I told you that the review stage is just like this stage. But I'm going to do a different thing here. What I did here, I'm going to do a different thing in terms of the rejection. You know, I told you that it depends on what you want and how you want it to be. And then what I would do may not be the same as what somebody else would do. So it's just all you need to know is that just try to understand. So after reviewing, obviously, we need to have a gateway. So I take this one here. I can even take it up here. They introduce a gateway. And this gateway is not para, it's rather exclusive gateway. And this gateway, we ask a question. The question is, this time, instead of saying rejected, we can say accepted. Like I said, it depends on what you want. Accepted with comma. And that one would depend, would determine where you put the no and the yes. Okay. Accepted, meaning that after the interview, after the review, have you been accepted? That's the question. Yes or no. So if it is yes, the application continues. If it is no, your application is rejected. So another way of handling this is that I am going to create here the rejection. I am going to create a tax here. I'm not going to do what I did first one with a stop event. I'm going to create a task and call this one rejected applications. Now, this one, I'm going to take it up. I'm going to send a letter to them that the application has been rejected. And then, so this is when the question is accepted, yes or no. So when I click on this one, it turns to blue. I go to property, and then under the condition, I put no, because this application has been rejected. Now for the yes, I come to this side. Obviously, when you click on it, you get a sequence flow. Move a bit, introduce maybe probably a tax, because after that, there'll be another tax. And a tax, of course, after the rejection, Now, if it is accepted, what next? You and I, you agree with me that what the next thing is to give a, what do you call it? You would send an offer. You send an offer letter to the person. So this one will be send an offer. Send offer. But it is rejected. Now you remember I told you that here after internet there will be also a gateway. A gateway, one receiving the rejection and the other one receiving the offer letter. Because if you don't have a gateway, then it will be difficult for you to have two different things coming. So one receiving the offer and one also receiving the rejection. And of course, it's also a gateway.
Okay.
So we come here and introduce a new gateway. Hello. Yes, go ahead.
So if the application is rejected,
yes.
It's already
so
rejected.
when we have the no rejected, we have no. We are saying that rejected applicant. I think that should be rejected. Yes.
No, look at the language. I told you that I'm making changes here similar to this side, but it depends on the language you use. At this side, I use the question rejected. Yes, rejected. No, meaning accepted. You continue.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't use rejected. I used accepted.
Okay.
No, meaning is rejection. Yes, meaning accepted. So it's the language. So it depends on what you do, what you want. So because for the purpose of teaching, I have decided to use the two at the same time. But the normal or the good thing is that use a common format, just a common system. If you are using rejection, just use rejection if it occurs throughout. Okay. Why is my listen behaving this way? Sorry, my device is. What is happening to my device? Okay. Okay, so now, so we need to have a gateway here to receive the rejection, and obviously it's going to be, what do you call it, an exclusive event. So the offer letter and a rejection. So I put rejected application. So this one here, you know, if I take a gateway like this, you cannot map from a tax to gateway directly. It's a mistake. You can't do that. But rather, you can have you create an event here, just as we did here. You create an event here, and then you see this event. What you see the event? I did not determine whether it should be deep or bold. Now I want to connect the rejected to that one, and once I connect to it, you will see that this one will change to intermediate. Have you seen it that it has changed? Yes. So now you connect this one. You connect this one to this gateway. So meaning that here, any gateway at all you have, you must have a question. And here, the question is that, if you cannot see anything here to, in fact, type, just click on the notation, go to property, and give it the name. So here, call it can we say that giving an offer? You see, giving an offer, giving with a question mark. Always don't joke with a question mark. Giving an offer. So obviously here will be no. So when I go to property, I put no at the condition here, no. Meaning that the person has not been given an offer. But those, if you are given an offer, then we need to create an event here to receive the offer letter. So this time, what we're gonna do is that we are going to take this one message, this one. Let's drop this message here, indicating that it's a letter, you know, so you can call this one offer letter. And it's being received from this here. So you map from this one to this offer letter, meaning that an offer letter has been given to the applicants up there. And obviously, we need to connect also this to this one. But note that this one cannot be exclusive. It has to be event-based exclusive because of this event. When there's event before and after, then it is event-based. It is not just exclusive. It is just like this one. So this one, because of this event, this one, we need to change it. So you go to the properties, click on it, go to properties, go to exclusive, and then change it to event-based exclusive gateway. So here I've handled it different way. I know some of you may be confused at this stage, but sometimes it's good to be confused so that, you know, as time goes on, you pick it things up and then remove. So as for the movement, you can do a lot of movement just to reshape your diagram. Okay. So here is no, but this one will be yes. We put yes here. The one who spoke about the crooked, I think that you probably did it. It was like this. Let me see if I can create another crooked here. I'm not able to create crooked. You mean this one, the one who spoke about the crooked, it was like this, right?
Yes, yes.
So it means that you didn't get the gauge very well. So in this case, what you need to do is that you go and take this one where it was mapped to, then continue to move it and get the line well. For instance, continue moving it, you know, and see whether you get the line well. So that's how you do it to get the line well.
Okay.
So as for the movement, you should be able to dock it around. It's just the logics that you need to get away with. So the offer letter has been given to the person. Now here, I need you to help me. Let me give you 2 minutes to readjust and do what we just do what we have gotten to. And then the next step, I want you to based on the knowledge that we have actually acquired so far in this modeling, to help me continue with the rest. So please, I'm giving you 2 minutes again to look at what you are doing currently. If you haven't been able to get where we are, I'm assuming that 2 minutes you should be able to get here. Then you will guide me to do the rest. Okay, so I'm assuming that you have readjusted and then we can continue. So now I need help here. We have sent the offer to the person. What do we do next, please? After the offer has been sent, what do we do next? Please.
So the client need to decide whether he's accepting the offer or rejecting it.
Very good.
So that's
So we are talking about what? A decision, right? Are we not talking about a decision point?
Gateway. Yes,
Yes, a gateway.
Gateway, exactly. So now, in this case, we need to, before even the gateway will come, he has to review the offer. Review the offer requires that, or let's say you are checking something like the payments, the packages you'll be getting. So it's very important to review. We all review, when we are giving an offer letter. I remember when I was giving an offer letter, come and lecture at Eugene. By then I was doing my postdoc. I was outside doing my postdoc. So when the offer letter came, I reviewed the offer letter. I can tell you that I used like 3 months to review the offer letter because I was just looking at the salary, the package and everything. Whether I should leave my postdoc, the good money that I was receiving there and come to Ghana and take that small series. So it took time. So obviously you need to review the offer. And we all review the offer. So let's move on. And reviewing the offer is a task or activity. So let us create a task or activity here and call it review offer. After reviewing the offer, then you then take a decision. So it is from here that we will now decide whether we want to take the offer or not. Here, we can even put this one up here. Why is it not going? Okay. Review the offer. Now that we have reviewed the offer, the next step is to create a gateway. So this kind of gateway is going to be, it is obviously going to be an event-based gateway, actually. But for now, you let me put unspecified gateway. Because once we have an event, then of course we do that. So here, whenever there's a gateway, there's a question. So now that we have reviewed the offer, what do? Accept offer or reject offer. So we can use this accept offer with a question mark. So accept offer. So if you are accepting the offer, what next? And if you are rejecting, what next? So this time is from the applicant to the recruiter. So accept offer, yes or no. If it is yes, what next? If it's yes, yes will be here. So if it's yes, let's introduce a task and call this one submit acceptance letter. Because if it's yes, we have to submit acceptance letter. If it is no, so we bring a sequence flow here. If it is no, then we introduce an event and call this one reject offer. So now we have a gateway up here. We need to introduce a gateway to accept the two, to take the rejected letter and also to take the offer letter. So what do? We come here, then we introduce a gateway here. So this gateway is ask a question. Okay, offer accepted. With a question mark. Offer accepted with a question mark. So if it is accepted, here obviously this is no, right? Accept offer here. This is no, right? So we go to the properties and then of course we go to condition and put no there. But here we go to the sequence flow, go to properties. I haven't selected the sequence flow well. So you have to click outside the box, come back, and select it again. When it turns to blue, meaning that it's selected. So here, yes. Okay. Now let's see. So here, we need to make provision for that. So make provision for the reject, and sequence flow cannot take us there. We need a message flow. So this doesn't give room for message flow. What it means is that you need to introduce an event here and call this event offer rejected. So that you connect from here, using a message flow to this one. You see that this one automatically changed to intermediary events. It's just intermediating the two, you know. So an offer has been rejected. But if the offer is accepted, here we need to make provision. More or less, we need to create a task and call this task receives offer, receives acceptance letter. Let me probably add it later. So you are receiving the acceptance letter. So here we can now connect this one to this. So acceptance letter has been received. Obviously, this one has to be. But now look at something. What do you think this should be? This one, it should remain exclusive gateway because there's no event around it. So it should be remain exclusive. This one, there's no event. We haven't put any event around it. No, there's event. Just that here, this one is supposed to be a message because we need to put a message there. So this one becomes, you know, exclusive base. Sometimes, if you don't want any trouble, you don't want any confusion, don't even specify whether it's exclusive base or whatever. Just put unspecified gateway, and it's well understood. You can understand it that way. Okay. Now let's move on. So now that the offer has been accepted, so the next step, you know, to end the whole process is that the candidate is then hired. So you can, of course, introduce another tax and it indicates that applicant or candidate hired. Then once you hire the candidate, what next? I mean, the candidate will start work. And if the candidate starts work, meaning that this one, the process will end here. So here you see end process. End process. And then here, the candidates, I told you that, you know, every process must end. So here it will end at the recruiter side. What about the candidate or the candidate? Yes. So the candidate also submit and say that, you know, probably process end, or you can say end process. Or you can say start work, you know, once you start work, or maybe hired. You can even use the word hired because the process here is about job, from job application to being hired. Simple as that. So you can see that along the processes, some people were dropped. Some people were rejected. Some applications were dropped and all that. Please, I'll give you another, what time is it now? I'll give you 5 minutes. Review and try to understand what I have just explained, and then we come back. So 5 minutes. What time are we supposed to end this class? It's 12 what? Hello?
35.
12?
35.
35, I'm giving you 10 minutes. So we come back in 12:20.
Sir, please, can you zoom your work?
Is it okay now? Because if I zoom it, if I continuously zoom it, others, some parts will actually, you know, merge. You
I
cannot
can't really see well.
So is it okay now?
No, please. I can't.
Because if I zoom it, like
Okay,
I said, if I zoom it, some parts will go in.
It's fine.
Okay. All right, so it's 12:20. Let's continue, please. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
If you are there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So you know, the next thing to look at is just some few additions. We have the model developed. And then, the process has ended. Now you see that the start event and the end event are not the same. This is deeper than this. And this is the same. But here, this person triggered the process and they send the application. And of course, you know, it started also from here. Now you can do a bit of formatting with this. You see all the activity, you can change their colors. You hold your control key and then select. So this one I've selected. So you can look for colorize, or you see colorize. Colorize and change the color. So here there are a number of colors. You see you have blue, green, and whatever. So let's pick blue, for instance. You see the other activities in the first lane or the first pool has been colored. So you can also pick all the activities here. This time we are just doing some formats to make our process nice. You can go to the same colorize and probably let's take this color. The background of this process, this lane, we can use the same colorize to change the background. Probably let's use this. As you can see, the background color has changed. You can repeat the same thing. But if you do that, it appears we cannot see the down colors. So the down color did not change. Okay. This one did not change. So let's select the activities again. Let me give it a color. Okay. So you can also change the background using the same color. Let me do this. Now, another thing is some of the activities, you realize that we were just, you know, simplifying things. Maybe probably there's a lot under it and you actually want to, you know, keep it at the back end. So let's take, for instance, attend interview. What does it mean? So attend an interview, you can add comments. Great. So you can add comments, you know, probably this is about attending an interview, you know, you can write you can add more comment to this. You know, maybe, you know, it's about maybe letter 10 interview. You can use the comments. But normally when you have the comments, it comes like this. And obviously you're not going to comment everything. So maybe the unique one that you want to comment on, you can use the comment to do that. And how I got a comment was this: the comments is coming from the design. That's one way of doing it. You can also use a different approach. We call it text specification text. Here, the text will not show like this. It will be hidden. For instance, if I go to review offer, then I click on text specification. You can type whatever you want to type about it. Maybe the text, maybe the review offer, this is about the candidate. You can see that this is about the candidate, you know, a whole lot. You can put whatever text that you want to put there. Describing thoroughly the review offer. Okay. So you can close it off. I haven't saved it. If I want to save, it's stuck with it. Oh. So this is the review offer. When I click on the text specification, it will show it. So this one is under it at the back end. It's not showing like the comment. The comment must always be brief. And here I can add a comment to this. And then the comment will show somewhere here. Then another thing I would like to show is called animating the path. For instance, I want to animate the path on how a candidate was rejected at the first stage. To do that, you start with the process, you go to the stats, click on this one, this flow, right click on it, right click. Then you look for, not split flow. We are not this, let me see. Why is it not? No, yeah, sorry. You don't click on the path, you click on rather the event and go to animate path. Animate path. Another way is that you can find it here. When you click on it, you can go here and then click on new path or use the animate path. So now once you click on new path, this will show. So here, this time you click on the flow, only the flow, Don't click on this thing. So you click on the flow, click on the how the application was submitted. You click on the flow, it goes there. Now you click on this flow. Why is it not clicking? Sorry. I'm trying to get a flow. Yes, you click on the flow. You see when you click on it, you turn blue. How you click on this flow. So at this stage, you realize that those who did not go to, we want how some people were rejected from the first stage, the process. Then you click on that flow, and here, this is how they were rejected. This is how they were informed. And then that's it. So when you finish, you can just click on save path or play mode. Let's play the mode and see what will happen. We need to save before, of course. So let me save the path. So the path is saved. So now let's play it. So now look at it. So you can do a presentation and then play. You can do stepwise play, or you can just play the whole animation, what we have done. So when I click on it, just take your time and wait. You see that it will be moving, telling you the processes you go through. And the application was submitted. From there, a review was not done, and then this, and then it was, yes, it was rejected, and then the rejection letter was submitted. We are done with that part. You can do another animation. You can do, maybe now you want to see those who were offered, and the next step, you have different processes that you can animate the path, especially when you are doing a presentation, and then you want to showcase, you have model your organizational process, and you feel like there's a problem somewhere and want the problem to be resolved. So you do the modeling. Once you do the modeling, you can now tell that at the interview stage, there's always a delay. Then we explain why there's a delay in that process. In this case, you click on use the test specification and write the whole notes about why there's a delay there. They write reasons why there's a need for automation so that we can reduce that delay. So, things like that. There's a lot you can explore. You can even give timer to all the processes and say that this one takes averagely it takes 2 months to do. But the problem is that there's a bottleneck at the interview part. It takes a longer time for us to use the test specification and write all notes why you think there's a need for automation. Then when you want to animate, you can animate different parts. We have animated a part of rejecting, do the first rejection. You can animate the part of, getting someone interviewed, and then on and on. You can create different animation parts. Another thing that some of you may ask also is that the save as, the model. I think I've explained the save as already. Yeah, I did that from the beginning. You can also go to extras and export it. There are different ways of exporting your work. You can export it to a file. When you click on export to a file, here you select a choice. Probably you want to export it as a PNG. on a desktop. So when I click on PNG and the name is BPMN diagram, you can change the name also from here and call it model diagram. So here, if I click on this and then click on save, it is saved on my desktop as model diagram. So when I go to the desktop, you will see model diagram. I don't know whether you can see my desktop. No, I think I haven't shared that. So let me share the screen. So this is what I actually put on PNG. So the assignment that I'm going to give you, I'm expecting that you will export it in PDF or let's say PNG or any image format, submit it. So you see this one is PNG. I took it from the desktop. So this is what I actually saved. So you see it here. So for instance, if you are writing a business plan and want to model the plan, or you are developing a system, you want to see the flow and the process, you can use the same software to do that and use this one to do the demo. All right. Any question up to this stage? Otherwise, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so in marking your assignment, what do you consider? Because looking at this structure, I may choose to use maybe a simpler way of getting it done. When I say simple way,
you haven't seen the assignment yet. The IA. When I send the IA to you, you will see all the conditions. And I clearly state, in fact, the conditions are all clearly stated. In fact, the number of gateways that must be in are all there. So I have conditions in there. So you follow and abide by the conditions. For instance, I'll clearly state cross-functional. And the cross-functional is up to you. It can be 2, it can be 3. There are a lot of things I'll look out to mark. Some people last year, for instance, did 3 different lanes. There is someone, in fact, the best model last year I actually worked on, I marked. That guy, it was just excellent model. The guy just used only 2 lanes and it was excellent. In fact, you will love it than even those who were even doing 4 lanes and 5 lanes or 3 lanes. Anyway, the maximum I saw was 3 lanes. So there are a lot of things I look out for, you know, and then the number of gateways, I will specify a minimum of this number of gateways and this and this and this. So they're all in it. And then there are other things that I look.
Sir, can you kindly share with us his work?
I don't have it again. I don't have it. Frankly speaking, it was submitted, you know, hard copy. I asked them to submit it hard copy. Mami Ifua.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, please, can you go through the IA with us?
Hey. No, but I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Not like answering it, but
the IA, okay, the IA basically, no, you see, not answering, but what? Can you come again? You mean the questions?
Explaining the instructions to us.
No. Yeah, when I send it, you see it, everything is clear. In fact, it's just a model like this. I'm asking you to identify a process from where you work. If you are not working, look for another company, just identify a process. Maybe a process, it could be leave, the steps you go in your organization to take a leave. Then you model the existing one. What is currently existing at your place or the case company? You model it. Then you model a second one. The second one is to be, meaning that maybe some of the process, there's something that you feel like it should be changed. So you add that part. So we call it to be an access. To be means that how you want it to be. And then the access is what is currently, the process that is currently being practiced. But how you want it to be in order to improve the process. So you may introduce a para. In fact, today's lecture, I didn't bring a para gateway. I'm not saying that you should bring a para gateway, but it depends on how you want to go about it. Because para gateway is like, two things happening at the same time with a plus symbol. So I'll share. In fact, you will do it. Don't worry. When I give it to you, you will do it. Because last year, some people did a very good job. Just one or two people that did the work was not that good. So I'll give you, I think, 2 weeks. No, 1 week. I think I should give you 1 week.
Wow, sir, please 2.5.
Hey, I say more.
Sir, because, no, so you know
So
something.
we have other assignment and presentations to make.
And then we are now going to go over the whole lecture again too.
Yeah, so I should give you like 3 days.
Oh, okay. I thought we are on that page. We are fine.
No, I thought you said I should give you 2.5 days. That's what I'm saying. Let me give
2.5 weeks. Oh, say don't do that.
Ah, you mean weeks?
Mm.
Oh, I thought I heard 2.5 days. Oh, 2 weeks there is too much.
Okay, so then you 2 weeks, please. Please.
No, what I mean, 2 weeks is too much.
Oh, sir, it's okay.
I think it's too much.
Oh, sir, please, 2 weeks is okay, please.
We have other assignments too, so.
Yes,
I know,
sir.
Mommy, I can assure you that if I give you 1 week, you may even get a better score than if I give you 2 weeks.
Sir, please.
Because you will do it very well. 1 week, you do it very well than 2 weeks.
So the issue is, some people were having issues in downloading. So we are now going to go over this lecture, this particular lecture, to understand, and then we sit and then do the work for you. We want to make you proud. You get it?
Okay, so then let's I'm saying 1 week and you say 2 weeks. So let's add 2 by 1 and divide it by 2. What do you think about that?
This is the course we paid money for. Wallahi.
Huh? Mommy?
Yes, sir. We are not difficult.
Why? Is it difficult or what is the problem?
So it's not that it's difficult, but you need to take your time to absorb, to understand. This is something practical.
Yeah, but 2 weeks is enough. Of course, there's a lot of time. Sorry, 1 week is enough. You have about 7 days.
So before you know, the day has ended and you've been running around the whole day for.
No, it is because you are working. So how many?
That's why you have to consider. You have to consider because you are working.
That we don't want to drag this. So you there 1 week, 4 days, it should be okay.
Who said 1 week, 4 days?
It's Mami Fua.
Mami Fua. So what about 1 week, 2 days?
Yes, sir, it's fine too.
That one is fine. Okay. So then
yes,
I'll
come back again, power.
What's it? You say?
I said you can really bargain.
I didn't
That's
hear
what I'm saying. Your procurement class should be able to bargain better than Dr.
So you see my
like he's
people.
winning.
But Mami was very active.
Please.
She was listening and everything was going on with her. So I don't think Mami will even have a problem. I'm sure she will do it and do it for others.
But I want to go over again.
Is that so? Okay. All right, that's fine. So I'll share.
2 weeks.
Yes.
So 2 weeks.
So what will we do without you? Thank you very much.